Hi, it's KingT here, and welcome back to another Bedrock Edition tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a super easy and efficient iron farm. This farm will work in all of your Bedrock Edition worlds and platforms, including Windows 10, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and mobile. This farm will give you a ton of iron, as well as some poppies and string that go along with it. You can build this anywhere in your world as long as it is at least 96 blocks away from other villager-related things. That includes beds, workstations, villagers, and bells. So without further ado, let's hop right into the tutorial. So the first thing you're going to want to do is going to find a chunk. Now the best way to do this in Bedrock Edition is to open up a level 0 map and go to the very corner of it. Okay, this is about the corner, so then you put down a block that is easily noticeable on the landscape, like black concrete. Maybe we could try to find a better spot where this chunk... Okay, somewhere around here. Okay. So I don't think that was the right spot. We'll move it there. And you just keep doing this until you can find the right spot. Okay, so I have found that this is the very corner of the chunk. So what you're going to want to do is, one chunk is a 16 by 16 area. So build with 14 other blocks and then mark the corners as I've done here. So 14 white concrete and 1 black concrete. Another 14. Another 14. And leave the corners as black concrete. So this is one chunk. The reason for this is your iron farm needs to be chunk aligned. That way it counts as one village, because in Bedrock Edition, if chunk borders are pretty broken and they can cause villagers to get deleted and redstone bugs and things. So it is absolutely necessary that this farm is chunk aligned. The next thing you want to do is find the middle 4 blocks. So it should be somewhere around here. So your farm should so far be looking like this, with a middle 4 blocks right here. And unfortunately this farm design cannot be centered, so you need to build up the killing chamber off center. The center can be any one of these 4 blocks, and so then you need to put a double chest like this with some hoppers facing into it like that. And make a 3x3 of hoppers going around the chest, all pointing into the center row so it feeds into here. So the next thing you can do is you can outline your killing chamber in glass. I like to use glass so I can see what's going on in there. You can technically use anything you want. This part does not have to be glass, although there are parts later in the tutorial that do require glass. Once you have outlined the kill chamber, you need to go build up 3 blocks. The next thing you want to do in your killing chamber is put down signs. Basically, this is going to block the lava from flowing down and destroying all of the items. Later, we're going to put campfires in the kill chamber. You can add the lava now or whenever, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so your farm should be looking something like this, and you can just build around the center chamber with whatever blocks you want to use for your iron farm. Okay, so now you're going to want to go back down to the ground level of your iron farm. Find the coordinate that this is on. Looks like it's 91, and you need to build up 11 blocks in the center. So that means I'm going to 102. And then break the blocks that you have just placed, because that will block the iron golems, but we don't want that. Now we are going to build up the area that will house all of the villagers. So on either side of this center block, you need to build out 7 more. So now your farm should be looking like this. And do not fill in any of the corners except for the ones in the center. Basically, you are going to want to make a square, a 3x3 square, and fill in the corners with glass, just like this. This is going to be the housing unit for your villagers. Then, you need to make sure you put the glass in pretty specific spots, just like this. That way, you will end up mining a lot of this glass, but it's good to start with glass, especially if you have silk touch. That way you can see the villagers inside. Okay, once you have it, it should be looking like this. I like to maybe put a light source in here. We'll just use lava for now. Looks kind of cool. And what you're going to want to do is put water in each of these holes or compartments that you have just created. For whatever reason, villagers, when they're floating in water, don't unlink from workstations. The next thing is you want to put trapdoors above each of the villager areas, like this, and then open all the trapdoors. And now you are free to get the villagers. Basically, the villagers need to be plain vanilla villagers, just like this. They cannot be traded with, or else they will not accept the new workstations. They can't be the nitwit villagers, which is the green ones, and they can't be baby villagers. They just have to be these regular villagers who, in Bedrock Edition, they will still have a job. And you can get these guys from basically anywhere. You can bring them from nearby villages. You can build a villager breeder and get them from there. The only constraint is that you need 20 of these. So now the process comes of filling up each of these 4 compartments with 5 villagers each. This will add up to 20 in the end. Once you have 5 villagers in each of your compartments, just close the trapdoor and they should all be stuck in there like this. They won't drown because the water is only on the bottom block, and the trapdoor keeps them from jumping all over the place. Technically, you could always also use pistons and solid blocks, but then they would start taking a little bit of damage, and we don't want that, so trapdoors are the way to go. Once you have gotten all of your villagers in place, the next thing you need to do is give them beds. Now, no matter what, you are going to need 20 beds for this farm. So the first step is going to be building out 5 blocks on each side, just like this. That way we can fit all 20 beds on 4 sides. There is a little bit of a specific way you want to do the beds. You want to place them one at a time, that way you can make sure that a villager is linking to each one. So if we place one here, green particles, doesn't really matter which of the villagers, it can be in any of these 4 compartments that link to the bed. You just need to make sure that a villager does link to this bed. Once you've gotten all the beds, Now it's time to build out the rest of the platform. But what you want to do is you want to come over here and have 8 blocks, 8 solid blocks going in every single direction. Now you want to build a 5-block extension on each side, and this is to just go with the shape of the water flow that's going to be on this top spawning platform. Now you need to connect each one of these by adding diagonals going this way. Once you have created this outline, fill in all of the blocks around the beds and all the way out to your frame. It's also worth mentioning that while you are building this farm, you're going to see a number of cats start spawning. This is perfectly fine, and this is a sign that your village is complete and is going to function. Once you have your platform filled in, what you're going to want to do is put the water in a very specific order. So you want to make sure that there is a water source block in front of each bed. So you can do this by placing every other bucket. That should create an infinite water source in all 3 spots. And then the water should flow to the end, but you're going to want to put one in the corner where the beds are, right here. That way it redirects the flow of water to the outside and not... See, if an iron golem were to spawn right here, it would just get pushed into this corner and be stuck. But if it spawns here, it flows outward and then it's going to fall into our trap. After you've done all this, you want to put glass over the beds. The reason I do this is because iron golems can actually spawn on beds. The only things they can't spawn on are leaves and glass. You are also going to want to make sure you remove any solid blocks from over here just by breaking these or covering everything in glass. So now we are ready to build the iron golem catching system, and this does have a pretty specific way this needs to be done. So you need to build out 4 blocks from the end just like this and break these 3. Basically, if you have a 2-block gap in between the wall and the spawning platform, the iron golem can get stuck in these corners. But if it's a 3-block gap, it will be able to fit through. And you want to build in the same shape, a 3-block perimeter all the way around this central spawning platform. And you want to add on one, so basically make these endpoints 7 blocks long, with 1 extra on either end, so that it matches this. Once you have created your 3-block perimeter, your farm should be looking something like this. And the next step that we need to do is make the walls to prevent cats and iron golems from overshooting our collecting trough down here and just taking up the mob cap out on the outside of your farm. To do this, you need to come over to your outer ring and build down 3 blocks. Once you've completed that step, your farm should be looking something like this, and now we need to build in the collection trough. So to do this, we need to build out 1 block in the diagonal direction of each wall, just like this. And I will show you in a second the reason for that. Once you have done that, you need to come down another block diagonally from that and build 8 blocks in. Once you have completed that step, you are almost done to completing your iron farm. The last thing you need to do for the catching trough is connect these 2 layers, or connect your killing chamber with the layer that you have just constructed, just by placing in some more blocks. The actual building portion of this farm is complete. The second to last step is just placing signs in here over the killing chamber to block the water from flowing in and destroying all the lava. Now you guys are going to want to put in the water for the collection chamber. So the best way to do that is to place a water bucket on each one of the blocks on this layer. Even the corner ones, but don't place any others or else that'll create infinite water sources and just turn into one giant pool of water. But we don't want that. We want it to all funnel into the center. And we can make that easy by putting the water just like this. So, there's only one big main step left to do, and that is to figure out the jobs of the villagers. And I suggest using a fletching table because they're pretty easy to make, and they will work in the rain all the time. And that makes them the best for spawning in iron golems. So the way you want to do this is you want to come above the villagers right here and place one underneath you. As you can see, the particles were in that corner, so when I break this you can see as well. So one of these villagers in here has linked to this fletching table, and you can put it in, and you should link again. And you need to do this in this specific order, and in this specific way. So it looks like it was somebody in there, and we'll break the fletching table, put it back in, and you can see it's the same person. The reason we do this is so that all the villagers can be working. If you didn't know, villagers need to be working in order to spawn in an iron golem. And you just need to repeat this process for all 20 villagers. When this happens and no villagers link to the fletching table, that means you are done. Now some finishing touches is you need to cover each fletching table with glass, because iron golems can spawn on top of the fletching tables. And if you have built this correctly, you should see some iron golems fall right into your kill chamber once your village is created. So the last thing you can do is you can put in some campfires just to kill all the pesky cats that fall down here, because they will be annoying and free stream, and they also take up the golem cap. I hope you all enjoyed this video on learning how to build an iron farm. This thing will give you a ton of iron. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you found this helpful, please share it with your friends. And I will see you in the next video. KingT out.